Mocking rivals on the gram after gunning them down on Chicago's South Side is just some of the evidence the feds will use against Rack City, a faction of the Black Peace Stones Nation, also known as the Racketeers. From West 93rd to South Halstead, they owned these streets, or so they thought, until the feds swooped in and charged the Racketeers with the real racketeering that could come and will likely come with life sentences. Joshua Broughton, aka Twigs, Christopher Shooter Singleton, Jerron Davis, and Greg Macon, all of Chicago, were cuffed and headed to the federal court building, where the federal indictment alleges that the Rack City Gang is a criminal organization whose members and associates engaged in narcotics trafficking and committed acts of violence to preserve and protect the gang's perceived territory. Members of the gang intimidated rivals, victims, and witnesses through acts and threats of violence, boasted about their gang on social media, and took steps designed to prevent law enforcement from detecting their criminal activities. But this was not the first time the feds cracked down on Rack City. 8 other alleged members or associates of the Rack City Gang were charged last year with firearm or drug offenses as part of the federal investigation. From old to young, the streets never really win. The indictments read like a fictional urban novel, but this is no novel. This is that gang life, memorialized in court documents. Taking lives in the middle of the day in Chicago is the norm for gang members. One man would find himself on the ground riddled with bullets, just as summer began in 2021. The only thing left was the dirt bike he was working on. 25-year-old Ogania Okiki would take his last breath of Chicago air in the 9100 block of South Wentworth, Princeton Park. The ambulance would rush him off to University of Chicago Medical Center, but it was already too late. After the shots were fired, a black-colored SUV would speed off into the hot sun. When the police showed up, there were 3 types of shell casings at the scene: a rifle, 45, and 40 cal. The shooting caught on camera. They showed up playing no games, but was the victim an innocent, or really a GD rival? Following the shooting, detectives interviewed a person they would call Individual A. According to the Chicago Police Department report, Individual A informed detectives that he or she knew the victim, but not witnessed the shooting. CPD records identified Individual A as a member of the Gangster Disciple Street Gang with the nickname Man Man. Christopher Shooter Singleton would take to social media on June 1st, 2021, allegedly taunting a rival street gang member with a screenshot from Twitter that quoted police saying, "We need tape." Who was that person? According to the newest federal indictment that was dropped on May 15, 2024, it was Man Man. His rival would laugh back, "Y'all shoot an innocent." He went on to call Singleton and his crew rookies in a series of social media messages that the feds would use to implicate Shooter in the death. The feds were sitting back watching social media as they always do, putting together a case, or were the gang members making the case for them, as we often see on social media. When beefing with his rival on social media, the rival would say, "That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. We ain't lost nobody out our circle at all. So how y'all fucking us up? And the dead guys we got, y'all ain't due for a fact. Just keep it, because innocents don't count, gang gang." The gang life turned into a "I got you" or "I got your man." Sadly, people's lives were becoming just points for each team. The two would engage in exchanges, and Shooter would tell Man Man at approximately 1:19 p.m., "We on Harvard, and everybody got 2 pipes. Little boys, get near." Shooter was inviting the GDs to a battle, letting them know that he was with some Rack City boys and still in the neighborhood if they wanted that smoke. But why was Rack City out hunting in the middle of the day? On March 18, 2023, Joshua Broughton, also known as Twigs, was being hunted by GDs from Princeton Park. They would roll up on Twigs and unload, hitting his Dodge Magnum as he pulled away, looking for safety, screeching tires. Revenge was all he had on his mind. Princeton Park was going to get it. In exchange of calls on a recorded line from a state jail, Twigs would outline what happened to him and tell his homie that was incarcerated that no one is safe in the area. On Rack, ain't no passes. No passes, bro. On Rack, G. On Rack, motherfuckers better not be outside on Rack. I don't care. A high school kid, a motherfucking grammar school kid, a motherfucking on Stone. A bitch taking her child to daycare, ain't no one safe. Nobody's safe, G. Damn. Shooter was living that street life, but was not the smartest. He would share videos of himself and others in that SUV around the time of the shooting, when his rival questioned whether he was faking or was really behind Okiki's death. In another act of ignorance, after the feds had Shooter for possession of a weapon by a felon, they would show up at the Cook County Jail looking to talk on February 3rd, 2023. With the video in hand of the shooting on June 1st, 2021, they would show it to him, and he would later agree to talk to the cops. and they would question him about his social media post. Shooter would admit that he was the person using the social media accounts to threaten some of the GDs. Once the feds left, Shooter would jump on the phone and make 10 different calls. He would say the police had everything, that people needed to throw out the garbage, meaning to delete social media accounts. He would also tell the homies on another call that he needed to make bail, that I'm finna go far away, bro. Far, 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 far. I wish I could tell you, bro. It's gonna F your mind. Shooter would tell his homies that the ops were not playing fair and that they were snitching. Shooter had painted his own fate on another call, that he needed to make bail and that I'm finna go far, far away, bro. He kept telling his friends and his homies that he's going far away. Shooter had painted his own fate on blank canvas. His demise was his own making on Instagram. The gram was where he documented his own case against himself. He would send a message telling another rival, bro, I'm gonna kill you with this switch. Gee, y'all now out. The feds had been keyed in on a Rack City gang watching on November 12, 2021. A warrant was issued for Facebook account, Just Key Gang Shooter, and the Instagram account, Cell Block Gang. All the evidence they needed for the Fed case that they were building to put Shooter's lights out was there in those accounts. Shooter had given them to him. Pictures, threats, words, and statements. Shooter had not realized what he had done. The beef with the Gangster Disciple Street Gang, the Princeton Park GDs or 95th GDs based in the Princeton Park neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, directly to the east of Rack City's territory for several years, has been ongoing and violent. Lives lost for senseless reasons. Shooter would argue with one member of the GDs, calling him out to reveal his location. And if he did, Shooter would pull up and let the best man win. Shooter would be charged with threatening Man, the Gangster Disciple from Princeton Park, over these text messages. The two would get into it. Don't try to follow me now, pussy, Man would say. Singleton would respond, where you at? Man said, finna come down Wallace. And Shooter would respond, bet. You want to play ball? Where you at? Can you play ball? Where you at? Shooter would keep texting. And Man would respond, figure it out. Shooter, like I figured you out on Wallace? You still riding them fucking lemons. You ain't gonna get enough, said Man. What car I'm in, you will never know, pussy. You hear the train? It went past. Man, where you at? You a bitch, he would say in one of his last texts. The battle would not happen. It would go silent. But the beef with the ops seems like it will never die. Little do they know out in the street, the feds were building this whole case and listening in. And now, each and every one of these cats are facing life. What about Man? Is he facing any time? Coming home from prison and seeing kind of how the world works now, it's absolutely crazy. It's outrageous. Social media. I mean, Shooter, he pretty much put this case together against himself, right? He did it himself, posting this shit on social media, posting these pictures. You think these people ain't watching? These people are out there watching. People, even the police are interested in street crime and gangs, and you'd be surprised some of the people that I talk to. They might be a DEA agent over here, they might be a chief of police over there, they might be a BOP warden. You never know who the people are that I talk to, right? Some of these people send me pictures, they send me all kinds of shit, they send me cases. They're interested in the street life, man. Dudes around here watching social media and their agents are like, oh shit, oh, that was that murder over there on the south side. Oh, yo, and that's how the investigation starts. They start looking at your Instagram. They start looking at your social media. You're posting videos of, the shit that you're doing. You're in the vehicle that just left the scene. They got a neighbor's camera that sees the little SUV speeding off. They put two and two together. Now they got an investigation going. And they're like, oh, yep, he keeps giving us more evidence. This cat just keeps giving them more evidence. Then the police leave and you jump on the jag, bro. You're on the phone at the county jail, at the Cook County Jail. You're on the phone like, yo, get rid of the evidence, bro. Like, they're listening, man. They got your PIN number. Anything that comes through, yo, we need all these calls. They're listening in. And you're just painting this picture. It's like a blank canvas. And you just keep painting the picture. Why, man? Why are these dudes just on social media, putting this shit out there? You're putting out there what you're doing. But not only that, man, the bigger question is this. Why, man? Ask yourself why. Senseless violence. Whether or not old boy was an op on the back porch, he's fixing his dirt bike, I understand. It's gone so far where you're like, yo, if it ain't them, then it's us. We got to eliminate them, but you can never eliminate everybody. Killing each other for no reason, man. You're in the street killing each other for no reason. Now you're going to prison for the rest of your life. I'm telling you right now, this indictment right here, the plea agreement's at least 30 years. Remember I told you, we'll do an update on this, right? The plea agreement for Shooter, Twigs probably around 20. Shooter, probably around 30, if he pleads guilty. If not, you're going to trial. You plead guilty, how old are you now? 24, 25 years old? You plead guilty, you get 30 years. You knock off about 5 years good time. Damn, bro, you'd be home when you're like 50. You'll be back on the streets. And some of them dudes from the indictment last year, I'm reading, it's like one dude 63 years old. Another cat was 54. Chicago's a dangerous place. But man, people are creating the dangerousness themselves for no good reason, right? What's the real reason? Why do you hate these dudes? But then when you get to federal prison, you got the Midwest Coalition, man. You're a GD, he's a Peace Stone, he's a Rack City. Now everybody's together because there ain't enough people from Chicago for everybody to, be able to battle each other or battle the real ops in federal prison, right? The dudes that want to get at your gang. Now all these dudes stick together in prison. Isn't that mind-boggling? When you get to federal prison, these dudes that are beefing on the street, and I've seen it with the Midwest Coalition, I've seen it with some Mexican gangs. Like now you guys are all together. Why? So, there's power in numbers, right? But on the street, you're willing to kill each other, but in here, you're friends. Come on, man. Why can't you just get this shit figured out in the street? If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? I respect the hustle. You're out there hustling. You might end up in prison for the rest of your life for that shit. But at the end of the day, you're beefing over nothing. You're killing each other over nothing. For what? For points? Yo, we got you. We killed old boy on the back porch, man. We're up on you, man. The score's 13-9. We got 13 of your people. You got 9 of ours. Come on, man. Mothers are burying kids. What do you guys think is going to happen in this case? What do you think Shooter cops out to? He's copping out. He ain't going to fucking trial. He's copping out. They got you, bro. You painted the picture. What do you think about people posting this shit on social media? What do you think about jumping on the jack in jail and it tells you, hey, listen, man, you're on the phone, Jack, right? And it's telling you all calls will be recorded. And you're like, yeah, bro, I shot old boy, man, at 12:33 p.m. over there on the south side. Like, come on, man. And then man, just so you know, man, he's beefing back and forth. Shit, you think they ain't investigating the GDs too? You think they're in an indictment coming over there? And Shooter, when he met with the cops, I want to say he's got some street smarts, right? He meets with the cops, and you can tell from what, from the conversations in the paperwork, he didn't meet with them to tell on anybody. He met with them so that he could kind of find out where they were at. He thought he was smarter than them, but really he wasn't. And now he's got some motions in trying to suppress the statements that he made, all of that type of shit. He wasn't telling on people, but he made, again, incriminating statements against himself. First 48, baby, you're back on it. Tell me what you think about these cats posting this shit. What do you think about people just running around lawlessly killing each other for no reason, man? Talk about that. Let's get Benjamin Crump in the street in Chicago, man. You ain't making no money on no lawsuits, but get out there and help them people, man. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Till tomorrow, we're out.